Okay. Um, I am Kate with Kate Nicole Fitness. I am here to share health, nutrition, and everything about being a mom. And today we're a couple weeks into January. And so I want to touch on New Year's resolutions, starting over, health and fitness, nutrition, all of those things that so many of us use our New Year's resolution to change our behavior, change our habits, add things into our lifestyle, take things away. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Any day is New Year's. Any day you can start over and try to do better. First off, do not get down on yourself if you have decided to give up sugar and you're having a craving and you indulge. If you're going to indulge, make sure that you are going to enjoy that indulgence and not feel guilty about it. If you're going to feel guilty about it, don't do it. I have been struggling with this lately because I have had the worst sugar craving tooth, like every single night. It's terrible. But I kind of just quit cold turkey. I was like, you know what? We're trying to budget because we're building a house, and that kind of makes it a little easier to not go and get crumble cookies. Can I have an amen? They're the best cookies around. And I try not to make a New Year's resolution or even hey, I'm going to give this up for an extended period of time. I try to say, today, I'm going to change my habits. I don't care if it's a Wednesday, if it's a Saturday, if it's a Sunday, whatever day it is, pretend like it's a New Year's Day, pretend like it's Monday. I forever would, okay, Monday, I'm going to start all these things. So let me tell you a little secret about me. I'm a really good planner. I can plan out my kids' chores. I can plan out our day. I can plan out all these wonderful things I'm going to do, my routine, my schedule. Like, oh, if you need a schedule or routine, talk to me. I can set it up for you. Now, the follow through, not so much. That's my big struggle. So I started just this last weekend, and I said, you know what? I need to get up and I need to do laundry, and I need to take my supplements. I need to take my medication for my anxiety because I have not been consistent with that. And I know that if I'm not consistent and I forget for a couple days, I feel crummy and I'm irritable and I'm low energy and all of these things. So I decided, you know what? Today's the day I'm going to do it. And then the next day I said, I'm going to do it again today. And then today I said, I'm going to do it again. So instead of setting myself up for failure, which I feel like so many people do by making a big goal of, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do this for 30 days or even 2 weeks, because that seems like a really, really long time once you're at day 2 or day 3 and you're like, oh my goodness, I have so much more time left. If you take it day by day, makes it so much easier. Today, I'm going to do better. And you know what? If you fall off the wagon and you eat something that you didn't want to or weren't supposed to, or promise yourself you wouldn't do, it's okay. Give yourself grace, do better tomorrow. Or if it's like you didn't do great for breakfast, do better for lunch. You don't have to wait until the next day and say, oh, well, I just blew my nutrition for the day, so I'm just gonna keep eating crummy food the rest of the day. No, stop it. I used to do that too. Again, any time of day, any meal that you're having, any day of the week, any day of the month, the year, you can start over. You can reset, restart, and get back on track. There's nothing that says it has to be New Year's resolution. It has to be Monday. But for some reason, we get that in our head that we have to start at the beginning of something. How about start at the beginning of that feeling of, I need to do this? So one thing that I do, so I have 3 girls. 7, 5, and 5.5 months. And I have always raised my girls. We don't use the word FAT. We spell it if I need to say something about that. We don't use that word in our house. We don't use skinny. We don't use thin. We don't use any of those visual words that have a negative connotation, even thin, because what is thin? That's subjective. We put ourselves in a box and say, this is what I need to be. Guess what? You just need to be you, and you just need to be healthy. That's all that matters. If you're not physically able to do the things you want to do because you're not at the weight that would be healthiest for you, or your muscles are tight because you don't work out, different things like that, you can change that. But you have to understand, like for me, I'm never going to be a size 2. I'm never going to be a size 6. Probably never going to be a size 10 again. That's okay. I've had 3 kids and I wouldn't change that for the world. I'm built differently. I have a muscular body. I'm built just like my dad. And my mom always says, well, your bones are bigger than that size. And it's true. And I can't expect myself to look like anybody else but me and be healthy. And I realized that the weight I have put on since I had my 5.5-month-old, I'm the heaviest I've ever been, even after each baby, probably pregnant with all 3 of them, because my body hurts. I am 40 years old. I have 3 kids, 3 C-sections. My body hurts. My core is basically non-existent. So my back hurts all the time. My knees are hurting. My wrists are bad now. And I think that some of it has to do with my weight. And I'm giving myself grace because I had 3 kids, I'm 40, and it just doesn't come as easy the 3rd time around when you're 40. When you are my size, some people go right back to skinny mini. That's their body type, and that's okay. I have actually given myself more grace postpartum with this pregnancy, this child, than I did with the other 2. And I really think that's because of how I talk to my girls. And like I said, we don't use fat, skinny, thin, like none of those subjective visual words. I go to the gym to work out because it makes me feel better. I want to be healthy and I want to be strong. And we eat healthy foods because we want to be healthy and we don't want our tummies to hurt. Now, again, I have a 5 and 7-year-old. And so we've been doing that since they were born. So anytime anything comes up, it's, mommy, why are you going to the gym when they were little? Because I want to be healthy and strong. And they were like, okay. And they understood and they got it because we exercised together. So they knew exactly what I was doing when I went to the gym, and I explained why, and they understand those words. I don't ever say, oh, because mommy wants to get a bikini body, or my postpartum belly, or like anything like that. We don't talk about anything physical. It's all about how we feel. And I feel like the more years I've been putting that out there to my girls, that saying it, I'm also hearing it, and I'm actually starting to believe it. And that is kind of my whole thought process and way around nutrition and health and working out. We don't talk about cheat meals. We do say that, the unhealthy foods are a treat. So the healthier we're eating that day or in the week, then we can have a treat, because if we have too many treats and we don't eat enough healthy foods, then our tummies hurt. And they understand that, because sometimes, if it's Halloween or Christmas parties or whatever, and they've had more sweets than they normally do, their tummies hurt. And so that is something they can understand. And I have not been living by that because I kind of have been eating whatever I want. And I'm tired all the time. And I don't have the energy that I even had after my second pregnancy right away. And the baby's waking up so many times during the night. But I know that if I start eating healthy again, that I'm going to feel better. And in turn, the weight's probably going to come off. And it's going to be a process, and it may be a slow process. It may be slower than it ever has been for me, but that's okay, because you have to take the little wins. You can't go and work out at the gym for a week and expect to have lost any weight, most likely, gained any muscle. And that's not enough time, because your body's like, wait, what's going on? And sometimes it can go into shock, and sometimes you can gain weight and you're like, what the heck? Like, I've been working my butt off. I'm getting in the gym. I'm doing this. And then what do? We decide not to continue because I'm just gaining weight by going to the gym. Well, again, sometimes your body goes in shock and goes, what are you doing to me? And then it wants to hold on to everything that you're eating because it's scared. And if you continue doing it, then your body goes, oh, okay, this is the new me. This is how I'm feeling. This is what we're going to be doing now consistently. This is something I tell my clients. We set up when I worked at my old gym and we would do group training or personal training, we would have them sign up for a year. And for a lot of people, that is scary. You're like, that's a big commitment. A year of training with you or training in the group class, X amount of days a week for a year. But the reason that we do that is because it would be a disservice to you if I had you come in and work with me for a month, even 4 days a week for a month, because you're going to get just enough information to think you know what you're doing, try to do your own workout, and you're either not going to do it correctly, you're going to get bored because you're probably going to be doing the same things, because every time I would see somebody, we would do something different. A lot of the same basic things like squats or whatever, but it would be different. It would be a side-to-side squat or a curtsy lunge versus a regular lunge, different things like that. So, and your body's not going to change in 1 month. You may lose a little bit of weight. You may start feeling better. You may start sleeping better, but it's not going to change your life. Between months 10 and 12 is when your body hits, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm back at work, like telling people why they need training. So your body hits what's called homeostasis. And basically that just means rebalance. So your body is rebalanced, going, okay, you've done this for a year. This is the new me. And you don't have to work as hard as you did the year before moving forward. Now, you can't just fall off the wagon and go, oh, now I can eat whatever I want and not work out ever. No, because you're going to go back where you started, if not further behind, because as we get older, that's what happens. But once you hit homeostasis, you, instead of working out 4 times a week, maybe you can drop it down to 3 and do a little bit, not as strenuous. But you have to keep that going. And then your body is going to know what to do with the good, healthy foods that you're feeding it. And again, I think we want, I don't know if God made us this way to where we need that instant gratification. I don't know if it's media. I don't know if it's society. Like, I don't know where it comes from, but we want that instant gratification, which is why so many of us have health issues with the nutrition and everything, because gosh darn it, those crumble cookies are to die for. And I want that instant gratification in that moment. Then after I've eaten, I'm going to feel guilty and I'm going to kind of feel crummy, and I didn't get any energy from my meal because it wasn't healthy. So we have to look at the long term. one thing that Rachel Hollis talks about, and I want to say she got it from somebody else, but I don't remember. So don't quote me on that, but it didn't come from me, but I love it. How is this serving me? How is this food serving me? And I think that's important when making decisions as well. If somebody asks you to do something, how is it going to serve you? Now, it's not a selfish thing, but if you're just going to do something and then begrudge that person for even having the audacity to ask you to help them out, that's what I used to do. I should have said no. Like, how is it serving me? If it's stressing me out or all these other things, like, I don't need to take that on. Same with food. How is this food serving me? Now, sometimes, you know what, I've eaten healthy today, and this cookie is going to serve me because I'm going to enjoy it and I'm not going to feel guilty afterwards. Then do it. Now, if you're eating 10 cookies a day and you're not feeling guilty and you're feeling good about it, we should maybe have a conversation. But but how is that food serving you? How is that workout serving you? How is your behavior, your habits, your routines? How is that serving you? Think about that. Think about the person you want to be in the future. And I still need to write this down for myself, is who do I want to be? It's like they say, dress for the job that you want, not the job you have. And I think that's so important. And you can take that analogy in so many other aspects of your life. I am not a huge, personal trainer to the stars, or, have this huge client list or anything like that. But I'm doing a podcast, and I may only have, I think I had 2 views on my podcast from last week. That's 2 people that listened to it that weren't going to hear it if I didn't do it. And you've got to start somewhere. So take the little wins, the progress, look at the end game. Where do I want to be? How am I going to get there? Am I going to get there by eating healthy and working out? Probably. Am I going to get there from eating cookies every day and not going to the gym as much as I should? Probably not. And if you do, tell me your secret. And you want to be able to maintain that. So consistency, that's my word of 2022, is consistency, because I've not been consistent throughout my pregnancy and then postpartum with my youngest. I was not consistent with the things I need to be consistent with. I wasn't consistent with the kids because I was tired and I hurt, and it's just easier to give in or just keep going, do this, and tell them over and over and over again. Consistency is key in everything in our life, but especially with children, but also with your health and your nutrition. Fitness and nutrition. Because eating one healthy meal is not going to do anything for you. Your body's going to go, okay, thanks, and want more. But if you don't give it more, then it doesn't know what to do with it. It can't do enough for it or with it. So consistency is key. Take your small victories. Hey, I made it to the gym 3 times this week. It's better than last week. Good for you. And I talk about with my clients all the time, and my husband has started saying this back to me. Meet yourself where you are today. Don't think about what you did yesterday. Yes. Am I going to wake up and try to do better than I did yesterday? Yes. Am I going to wake up tomorrow and try to do even more and be more active in my everyday, not just when I go to the gym? Yes. But sometimes you're tired, and it's not a tired that you can push through. Sometimes it's like, pull your big girl panties up, pull your big boy boxers up, or whatever you choose to wear, and just do it. Like, don't make an excuse. And then there are other times I feel like my nose is really shiny in this light. Okay, maybe is that a little better? I don't know. Anyway, and push through and stop making excuses. But then there are other times where you have to check in with yourself and go, is this a tired I can, should, and need to push through? If the answer is yes, then do it. Because I haven't talked to one person don't think I've ever talked to anybody in my life that has ever said, man, I wish I wouldn't have worked out today. I wish I wouldn't have eaten that healthy salad. I wish I would have eaten pizza or something else. I've never heard that. So you're not going to regret doing it. However, if you do it when you are like, I had to check in with myself today several times because I got to bed at 1:30 this morning because I was doing laundry and I was cleaning the apartment and getting things organized and whatever. And the baby was kind of being a mess last night. So it took a little longer to do everything. And then she was a hot mess during the night. I mean, my husband and I are both exhausted, and he took turns, I took turns, and we just kind of were back and forth all night, and I'm exhausted. So I checked in with myself and I was like, oh man, maybe I should just go to bed really early and not do my workout class tonight. And then I was like, well, but I'm probably not going to go to sleep at 7, and my class is from 6:30, 7:20. By the time I get home, kids might be in bed, or at least getting that way I can shower and go straight to bed once I feed the baby, obviously. I think I can do it. And so I waited a little bit longer, and I was like, I checked in with myself again. I'm like, okay, like this is kind of the time limit of canceling a class. How are you feeling? And I was like, yeah, I'm tired, but not too tired that I can't push through. So stop making excuses, but meet yourself where you are today. Maybe today's not even as good as yesterday, and that's okay, because tomorrow's going to be better. And you have to take each day one step at a time. And it's so cliche and people say it all the time, but it is 100% true. And I do so much better sticking to the way that I want to eat, working out, all the healthy things in our lives. I stick to that better when I don't set myself up for failure by saying, I'm going to do this for this amount of time. No, I'm going to do this today. And then tomorrow I'm going to try to do it again. And then the next day I'm going to try to do it again. And then if I fall off the wagon, that's okay. I'm going to do it the next day. And that's how you build a routine. That's how you get into a habit. If you look at each day individually and take those baby steps, you will be surprised that, oh my goodness, like I didn't have that soda for 30 days and I didn't even realize, because I didn't set myself up for failure. I just tried to be good. Each day I woke up like, I'm going to try to not do this today, or I'm going to try to eat this way. It's so important. And again, that talk that you do to yourself, that I'm constantly kind of preaching to my girls. Oh, and one other thing I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm used to interviewing with somebody else. And so now I'm like put on the spot here. But one thing that I have done, another thing I've done with my kids is anytime that they outgrow clothes, because they're growing. And let me tell you, as soon as I go, oh my gosh, they don't have enough of this, and I get the size they're in, by the time the clothes arrive, I swear they've already outgrown them. So I've never said to them, even as like infants, and I would, oh, you're so big and blah, blah, blah. I always say those pants or that shirt is too small for you, or it's too big for you. I tell my kids, and if they say, oh, this is too small for me, I go, no, it's not. Or I'm too small for that. No, you're not. You're perfect. It's the clothes that are not right. They're too small or they're too big. And again, by saying those things to my girls, I hear myself say it. And then I in turn go, okay, I am not the size that these pants are. That doesn't mean that I beat myself up and try to fit myself in those pants. No, I need to embrace it and go get something that fits. And that's okay. Now, am I trying to get back down to my pre-pregnancy pants? Yes, I am. But I'm not going to try them on every day and just beat myself up because the pants are too small. I always bring it back to that item is to something, because my kids are not to anything. They are perfect. And I think that's so important to change your mindset. That is like number one, huge. Again, goes along with not setting yourself up for failure, in telling yourself you're going to do something and stick to something for a certain amount of time. Set yourself up for success. That's like my mantra for my family, is always setting ourselves and each other up for success. And you can do that with your health and nutrition by taking it one day at a time.